Sometimes I get an idea that's so powerfully stupid that it makes me giddy. An idea that I think is so funny that my brain will not let me rest until I put the idea out into the world. This is one of those times. Alright, if you have not seen Kpop Demon Hunters, what are you doing here? I mean, I'm glad you're here. For me, I love you, but go watch the movie. What are you doing? I can't recommend it enough. I'm not even really a fan of K-pop, and I find myself humming these songs to myself all the time. That being said, there's going to be some spoilers for that movie, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you don't care, keep watching. Thanks for being here. Now, the elevator pitch for Kpop Demon Hunters is basically that demons have been terrorizing humanity for all of time, and every generation there's a musical group that rises up to not only actively fight the demons, but create a barrier between their realm and ours through the power of their fans. This barrier is called the Honmoon. A large plot point of the movie is that Huntrix, the musical act of this generation, is coming close to amassing enough fans to seal the Honmoon for good. And as a last-ditch effort, Gima, the Demon King, I don't really know what his official title is, he sends down a group of demons as a K-pop boy band to fight for the hearts and the literal souls of the fans directly. It sounds ridiculous, but I promise this movie knows exactly what it wants to be, and you should watch it. And that brings us to the question for today. Could Wolfe Glick seal the Honmoon? Now, if you don't know who Wolfe Glick is, again, how did you get here? What are you doing? I feel like that's a way bigger barrier for entry to this video than whether you've seen Kpop Demon Hunters or not. Anyway, Wolfe Glick is probably the most well-known VGC player of all time. That is, that he plays the official format for competitive Pokemon battles. He has won the most regionals out of anybody. He's a multiple-time international champion, and he won the World Championships in 2016. And if people only know one VGC player, it's probably Wolfe Glick. That's very important for our discussion today, because remember, we're basically throwing you into a battle for the hearts and souls of the fans, more than we are asking him to straight up throw hands, though there will be some straight up throwing of hands. Now, before we get into all of the insane reaches I'll be making in order to get my argument across, let's cover some ground rules. For the purposes of this video, yes, Wolfe Glick will be part of a musical act. If we're trying to figure out if Wolfe Glick could seal some sort of VGC Honmoon by playing VGC, then yeah, obviously he could. That would be boring. I will be granting him a Pokemon team's worth of backup in the form of his team from the European International Championships 2025. That team is made up of Koraidon, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Fluttermane, and probably most importantly, Gothitelle and Screamtail. I found it important to mention right now that not all of these Pokemon will be part of the musical act, but I will find something important for all of them to do. The next piece is that we're basically just going to stick Wolfe and his team directly into the plot of the movie. Does that mean Wolfe has a side romance plot with the potentially thousands of year old demon Genu? Yeah, I guess. Should you draw fan art of that? I guess I'm not saying that you shouldn't draw fan art of that, but anyway, let's get down to business. Since I don't want to explain to you the entire plot of the movie, because you should go watch it, here's a brief overview of how Wolfe and all of his Pokemon fit in. Wolfe himself will be in place for the main character, Rumi. Screamtail and Gothitelle will be filling out the rest of the musical group in the roles of Mira and Zoe. I will let you decide which one is which. Amoonguss is going to be filling in for Bobby, the group's manager. And we'll say that Incineroar and Fluttermane take the places of this Tiger and Crow, whose names are apparently Derpy and Sussy. And lastly, I guess what I'm going to say is that Koraidon is basically the weapon that Wolfe can manifest through the power of his song magic, mostly because I don't know where else to put Koraidon, but also it's just the strongest Pokemon here, and Wolfe is probably not actively throwing hands against demons on his own without it. Maybe I'll scale straight up just Pokemon trainers like throwing hands themselves one day. Let's stay tuned for that. Alright, here's where we hit our first question. A question upon which our entire argument will live or die. Can Wolfe Glick sing? Well, you may be surprised to learn that not only is it confirmed that Wolfe Glick can sing based on recent first-hand accounts from karaoke at the Toronto Regionals, but apparently he used to be part of an a cappella group. I didn't know that. A friend told me that, and I'm just going to choose to believe my friend because they're my friend and I like them. So, Wolfe Glick can sing. I wasn't able to find any footage of it, but that's good enough for me. Now, not only can Pokemon World Champion Wolfe Glick carry a tune, but his favorite strategy also involves singing. As any fan of this guy knows, he is the only trainer to ever win an event utilizing the Perish Song strategy. Basically, Perish Song is a move that causes all Pokemon that hear it to faint in 3 turns. It's very cool, it's very fun, it's very interesting, but that's not really pertinent to today's video other than the fact that it is a song. Honestly though, a side tangent, it's really cool that if we slot Wolfe into the plot of this movie, it's straight up his journey leading up to the European International Championships. I remember him talking about he was doubting Perish Song and like he ended up like using it anyway and trying it out and believing in himself and believing in Perish Song. And you know, isn't that just cool? What's the saying? Art imitates life. It's like poetry, it rhymes, something like that. All right, so we're going to skip a lot of the movie, all right? Wolfe starts to doubt himself. He tries not playing Perish. The Saja boys show up to steal his fans. Through the help of Incineroar and Fluttermane and Genu, Wolfe learns to accept who he is. He starts playing Perish again. The Honmoon gets destroyed, blah, 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 blah. We're all the way up to the final climactic battle in the stadium. I'm glazing over a lot of plot, but like I said, this is the most important part. This is where we need to be. Now, seemingly, everybody has been brainwashed, including his own band members, Gothitelle and Screamtail. They're all gathering at the stadium for a special performance by the Saja boys, where all of their souls are going to be consumed by Gima. The performance starts, god damn is it a banger, but then Wolfe Glick shows up at the last second to save the day by embracing himself and performing for the first time on his very own The Perish Song. What does that sound like? I don't know, it probably sounds like the Monster Mash. This is where we kind of have 2 more questions to answer, okay? Number 1, is Wolfe and his team physically strong enough to fight demons? Now, based on all of the power scaling of Pokemon that I've done in the past, I would unequivocally say yes, but just in case you haven't seen those videos, let's do a quick one. According to the Pokedex, it is a peer-reviewed scientific journal. Fight me. Zeraora attacks at the speed of lightning. And Koraidon is faster than Zeraora, so Koraidon can move faster than the speed of lightning. And, also according to the Pokedex, Machamp can move mountains, that's mountains plural, with just 1 of its arms. It has 4 arms at a minimum, that means that Machamp can move 8 mountains. Koraidon has a higher attack stat than Machamp, so it must also at a bare minimum be able to move at least 8 mountains. Screamtail and Gothitelle do not even approach these numbers, but if we use their base stats in comparison to Koraidon's base stats, we're still going to be reaching physical feats that the Peon Demons and the Saja boys cannot even dream of meeting, okay? All right. So yes, I think that Wolfe and Perish the band can throw hands with the Saja boys, no problem. Time for our second question. Can Wolfe rally the hearts and minds of enough people to seal the Honmoon and or defeat Gima? This is absolutely the pinnacle question of the video. It is the hardest one to answer. And I think it hinges on 3 other questions that we need to answer. Number 1, was this concert televised? Number 2, does magic in the movie work over television and radio broadcasts? And number 3, how many people were at this concert? To answer the first question, I don't think the concert was televised. I just rewatched that whole scene, literally right before I wrote this script, and there are no hints, there are no mentions of anything about this concert being on television. Yes, they do use the digital billboards in town to tell everybody to go to the concert, but based on the fact that they are literally not on the billboards by the end of that scene, this was probably accomplished with some kind of magic and the Saja boys were like physically there or something, right? This brings me to the answer to the second question. I do not think that the magic in the movie works if you are just watching a recording or a broadcast of the music. I've got a few reasons for this. The first one being, if a recording of a song could seal the Honmoon, then there would be no reason for them to be so stressed about doing a live performance of Golden in the first place. The fans were already united when the single dropped. So literally, why do they do a live performance? They've already united the fans with their song, pre-recorded, right? Number 2, the second reason that I think that the magic doesn't work over radio broadcasts is that if the Saja boys brainwashing, if they could steal all of these souls purely over video broadcasts, then why do they need to bring everybody to the stadium in the first place? Wouldn't it be just easier to just have the demon peons eat the crowd in the streets or eat people in their homes while they're watching the broadcast? Maybe I'm overanalyzing, it would be a lot less epic that way, but it seems to me like a physical crowd needs to be present in order for the magical powers of both sides to fully be effective. That being said, now that we know the answer to that question, question 3 is very important. How many people are in the stadium in the final scene. The scene takes place at the foot of the Namsan Seoul Tower. I tried everything I could do to research the maximum capacity of that tower as a concert venue, but in real life, there is not a stadium at the foot of that tower. The closest analog I could find in the area was the 2018 Olympic Stadium in Seoul, which has been used for K-pop concerts and itself has a maximum capacity of 100,000 people. Even the largest stadium in the entire world only holds 250,000 people. And that's the Great Strychov Stadium in the Czech Republic. Now, I'm not trying to say that these aren't big numbers. These are crazy big numbers. If I had that many subscribers, I would be over the moon. I could probably afford to pay all my bills off of YouTube. And I'm sure that if you offered 100,000 souls to the literal devil, he would be extremely happy. But it's not that many people when you consider that the entire population of the city itself is 9 million and the population of the world is 8 billion. So basically, what I'm saying is that apparently, according to Kpop Demon Hunters, to not only seal the Honmoon, but straight up defeat Dima and seemingly kill him, you only need to win over the hearts of 100,000, maybe 250,000 people. And that's if this fake stadium at the base of the Namsan Seoul Tower is as big as the largest stadium that is currently in the world. Now, a quick check at the time of recording this video. Wolfe Glick has almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube. He routinely gets somewhere between 1 million and 3 million views on each of his videos. Assuming that just like in the actual movie, the crowd is made up of a random selection of Wolf's fans that have been stolen by the Saja boys. You gotta think that if you took a random slice of his subscribers and dropped them all in one place, you'd have a pretty decent chance of getting mostly ones that absolutely love this man. And now imagine that the Wolfe VGC gets on stage randomly at this concert that you're at, and he himself starts singing the Parish song. And not only that, but he's riding a Koraidon and using dope-ass moves to kill demons? Look, man, I'm a pretty casual fan of Wolfe Glick, but damn, I think I would ascend if I was somewhere and that happened. So to answer the question, can Wolfe Glick win over the hearts and souls of an audience of about 100,000 or 250,000 people? Yes. Yes, I think so. I have been in the crowd at a VGC event that he has won. Yeah, he could do it. So, given that, could world champion Wolfe Glick seal the Honmoon? Yes. Yes, I guess the argument that I am making is that Wolfe Glick could seal the Honmoon. Hey everybody, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, leave a like, go comment down below. Are there any other VGC players that you think can seal the Honmoon? What a stupid question. If this video is coming out when I wanted to, it's my birthday today. Wish me a happy birthday in the comments too, I guess. Anyway, with that everyone, my name is Andrew, and I will catch you guys next time.